I hear a lot of people talking about scalpers in TCGs, man, and I think it's a really silly term. I just don't understand it, man. I don't understand the concept and the mindset that we have around people who want to buy, you know, one, two, three boxes, or even a case, or even two cases of a product because they believe in the game, and then they sell it, 3 months down the line for double the price. I have no problem with that. I think it's a free market. Capitalism is alive and well. I don't have any problems with that. And I think that the term scalper, we really need to focus on what it means and really delve into, the meaning behind it. Because in my mind, a true scalper, and when I think of scalping as a whole, I think of like tickets to concerts, right? If you've ever looked at that shit and tried to order concert tickets and and you try to buy them at the second they release, all those bots instantly buy them out. Or man, even like Jordan sneakers or there's certain types of sneakers out there. I'm not too good in the sneaker realm where they literally just buy out every single of that sneaker out and then that one entity sells it to everyone else for double the price. Same with ticket sales with the different concert tickets, and same with a lot of other different collectibles or even event type things. It's where one or two big entities buy it all out and then sell it for double the price. I think that's scalping. And in my definition, at a minimum, at a very basic minimum, to be considered a scalper, I think you have to own 5%. Like that's the minimum amount, 5% of the total amount of supply out there. So let's say Welcome to Wrath booster boxes, let's say the total amount of print run for a booster box was 1,000 boxes. You have to own 50 to for me to be considered a scalper. 50 out of 1,000 there. I mean, but even still, that's barely cutting it. In my book, in my true book, I think 10 to 20% range. There you go. Then you can consider someone scalping. But when I hear people say, "Oh, it's these bloody scalpers. They're ruining the card game I love because now I can't buy the cards they want, or other people can't buy the cards they want." And all this stuff, and that's impeding the growth, and I just think it's misguided. Do I think that that's happening? Yes. Do I think that as a whole, this whole scalping thing is happening where 20% of the total supply is purchased and sold out at a higher price? Yes. Do I think it's from, normal guys like me or normal random fuckers out there who are just buying onesie twosie boxes and selling them on eBay to, flip a couple bucks? No. You know, I don't think all of us are the problem. I think it's other big entities in the background, man. You have no idea how many different deals and different shady stuff happens on the back end through distribution channels and buddy systems and all these different, hidden networks that I have no idea about. That's who if you're listening to me now and you're like, "Oh man, I'm flamed at this Bronson guy. I hate my scalpers." Don't focus on the onesie twosie, mom and pop guy. Focus on those background entities and figuring out who those are people are and putting your pitchforks there. But when I hear that people are pissed off that someone scalps 2 boxes, 3 boxes, dude, that's nothing. That's like seeing a little kid, right? Like an 8-year-old boy take a Tootsie Roll and litter like the Tootsie Roll wrapper. And then you're like, oh my gosh, that kid's horrible. He's littering. And then you have like ExxonMobil over here, dumping, millions of gallons of oil in the river and then nobody gives a shit. That's how I feel that people are, associating scalpers to. They look at these really simple examples of, maybe like a really small store or just a really small like person like buying a box or maybe a case of it. I don't understand it. And I want to point something out as well about these so-called scalpers that are out there and in the capitalism society that we have currently is that they believed in the game. I know. I know that's hard to imagine. But think of all these games out there, Flesh and Blood. To buy these boxes, you could buy any Welcome to Wrath and Arcane box. are rising first edition box that you wanted pre-October 2020, you could get it for below MSRP for around 80 to 90 range. They were available for a full entire year. You could have bought in as many as you'd like. Did a lot of people? No. What happened afterwards once the box went up in price? Well, then people got pissed at people scalping. But the people who bought the boxes and wanted to invest in it long term, those people believed in the game. So they bought more. So the people who, scalp boxes and play the market, man, they're believers. Same thing with MetaZoo. I mean, if you were in the MetaZoo community, like 2 months ago, and you saw the 5,000 boxes just delete from the website of metazoo.com or whatever, and then you're like, oh, maybe the demand is really high. Maybe I should buy some of these boxes. Maybe that's a good idea. You know, then you believed in the game. You believed that it was good. And that's with any secondary market, guys. When you see a secondary market, think about you as a player in this whole thing. You have to evaluate different asset groups and see, hey, what do I think is undervalued? What do I think people undervalue currently? And that's what this is, man. That's what's these so-called little mini scalpers are doing. They're seeing different booster box products that are coming out that are they think are undervalued in the marketplace. They say, hey, MSRP, that ain't nothing. That box is gonna go to the moon. And then they put money into it. So I think that overall, the whole point I'm trying to make is that yes, I definitely think that making booster boxes, pricing people out of a game, making booster boxes $300, $400 does price people out of the game, and it will impede long-term growth if people just can't get their hands on the product. But I definitely think investors in a TCG are definitely needed. And I don't think we should be going after these onesie twosie little people like any of us, just normal people just trying to, make a buck. It's no big deal. And if you're part of the secondary market and you like this kind of stuff, you should be like saying, hey, that this is what we should all be doing. Looking at undervalued things in the marketplace at this current time and putting money into what we believe in. And if it goes up in price in 2 to 3 months, sell it for double, triple the price. And if people buy it, they do. If they don't, they don't. Because that's the thing with the open market. The market eventually corrects itself no matter what you want to think or say, because it's all built on perception and emotion. It's all about your gut feeling, especially with trading card games, man. It's all about your gut. It's all about this big gut here. It's how you feel and what people feel about the product. So if people feel like it's a $500 box and everybody around the world has that same gut feeling, then it's going to be worth that amount of money. You know, I, you just can't change that. And I definitely know that there are different players in this, but when you're just a small type of person like me or anyone else, you can't really influence the market like that. And how do you influence the market? You need money, you need capital, you need to own at least 5% or maybe 10 to 20% in my book, 10 to 20% of the overall market. And who does that? Who does that? I'm asking you. Who who does that? There are people out there. There are entities. There are back end things. There are things on the outliers of this that are shrouded, and they remain shrouded. And it's very interesting to me the underworld of the trading card game industry and how much exists and what big plays people are making. Because overall, they're playing by the same rules. They're saying capitalism, Yahoo. What instead of me or you with our, $500,000 to blow on a trading card game and make a bet, they might have 500,000 or $1 million to park in something. How much, how many booster boxes can that sum of money buy is ginormous. And when you have that type of situation, then I think you can be labeled as a scalper. Then I think you can be labeled as someone who really does have a big influence on the prices, and you can set the price in the market. You can buy up the small stuff, sell it at a higher price. You can more be able to influence the market as a whole when you're at that level and when you can do these different types of deals in the background. So, just thought this was a fun little educational video about the whole scalping world and what I think about it. Because again, man, if you see somebody just flipping a box, flipping a case, doing a thing, you know, leave them alone, please. I don't think that they are the problem or the problem that you think. I think overall, personally, I think it's fair game. There's no regulations on this thing at all. People can do whatever they want. If there's a buyer and a seller selling a product on the open market, or if a store and a person come to certain arrangements with transactions, it's all good and well. And that's what makes the whole machine work. But overall, just to sum up, instead of focusing our efforts on nailing the little guys, I think we need to do a little bit digging with our shovels and figuring out like the big boys out there, because they do exist. I can't tell you for absolute certain, but it definitely does seem like the more and more I hear about different things and different big plays, it just makes me wonder. It's like, well, if I have money to buy a certain amount of quantity, how much money do other people have to park a ton of money into stuff and a ton of different capital to move the market and to really influence it and to be a participant in that makes the price go up? Because at the end of the day, it's all about what the price of the booster box is and what is your impact on that price. If you have like 1 to 2 to 3 booster boxes, you ain't moving that price for shit. But if you have, 500 to 3,000 booster boxes of a set that only contains like 10,000 booster boxes, you have a very, very high level of moving the market because you're taking that supply just out of the market. You're just taking it all out, and then what's left is what's left, and it makes a situation of artificial scarcity and what have you. So that's my video. I hope you enjoyed. Please comment and let me know what you think if you have any certain opinions. But thanks for watching.